Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Chief Science Officer's Zoom In on Science Calls, where we learn about STEM professionals and their careers to understand the impact of the job in modern life. My name is CSO Malhar from Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya. I'm personally excited to host this call. On past call, we have learned a variety of different things, and today we welcome CSO Dom. Currently started she was in the part of the first year of CSOs, and she currently attends Arizona State University.
Yeah, am I good?
Can you tell our participants a little bit about yourself and your work?
Tell you all like a little story about myself and my experience through the Chief Science Officer program and kind of where I'm at now, since it's been a little bit of time since I was a CSO. I'm from Arizona, a little small town called Casa Grande, and this took place between 2013 and 2015 when I first started to get into high school. These are my first 2 years. Okay, we're gonna do it this way. This will be easy. Here we have an assortment of pictures for the different interests that I took upon myself when I first got into high school. I loved robotics. It was so much fun. I loved building things, and I even took a welding class that my mom was so kind enough to be like, hey, I know you like building things, so we're gonna take it to the next level, and I'm gonna take you to a class so you can learn how to weld. I thought it was awesome. I was into things that girls weren't conventionally into. Even if it was just 7 years ago, there still weren't that many females in robotics, and definitely not ones that were in charge or building the robot. I remember several times where people or younger boys, or the ones that were my age, right? So we're talking mid-teenagers, would come up and they'd ask who's in charge, or like who the president was, who built the robot, and I'd have to look them in the eye and tell them me, and they'd be shocked. And I actually kind of loved the shock. It was pretty great to see their reactions. And with that, I continued to advocate for the engineering pathway at my school. I was casually an engineering student since it was in its first years. Then we can move on to my second half of high school. So 2015 to 2017. That's when I first became a CSO. This was the first year that it started, and everything was kind of up in the air how things were going to run. It was a great program. I stand by it completely. And I had great opportunities where I was able to, if you can see my mouse, or my mouse. Okay. Well, in the bottom left hand, I was able to talk to people at conventions, and I talked to different age groups about females in STEM specifically. I hosted and planned events with the small group of students at my school, which you can see in the top left. And I was able to have different experiences to help expand the Chief Science Officer program by being featured on PBS, a PBS show. It's like a local Arizona television network with Dr. Babinger. It was a lot of fun. It was super cool. We just got to talk about the program, and it was crazy to be on the news because the next day I was already so excited, and I had told all of my teachers, and I told all my classmates, hey, I'm gonna be on the news. And so people tuned in, and they got to learn about the Chief Science Officer program and sort of what I was doing to try to help make the school a better place and advocate for STEM. And I also I went for the first time that we all went to DC as they brought students. I was one of the first students in the bottom right, and there's a little Sage, if you know who Sage is. He's also one of the first original CSOs. There's a tiny little Sage in the bottom right-hand corner. Now he's a very, very tall teenager, and it's kind of scary, but it's really cool. It's nice when people actually stay in the program, and I hope that you all stay in the program as long as he did, or as long as you can. 5 years.
You're all pretty much first years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Max, are you a first year or second year?
I'm a second year.
Okay, what about Sheikha? Are you first year?
Yes, this is my first year.
And then I know all of the Kenya students. The only other one that has years on them is Josh, really. Josh, this is your third year or fourth year?
Third year.
Yeah, so Dom was here original, right? The very beginning, 5 years ago when Dr. Babinger started the program. And Sage, the smallest one in that picture in the corner, he is now a sophomore in high school and still in the program. So it's awesome.
And I believe that he's made a difference. And so has every CSO out there. I think he actually started like a not an international, but like a field trip day where one day like of the year it'd be recognized for kids to go on STEM field trips. And I thought that was really cool. And then we can move on to the present. Now I'm an alumni. I'm no longer a teenager. And I first went into college, started in engineering, and it's kind of scary. If there's one guy that's really famous at ASU, he's Ira A. Fulton. He's a cool millionaire that gives millions of dollars to ASU, and he specifically loves like seeing women in STEM because it's something I guess he more than likely did not see a lot when he was growing up. So it's cool that he is someone that donates money and he like also like supports seeing females in STEM, and I'm all about seeing females in STEM. It's really cool that I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like most of the CSOs are female, or a vast
We are
majority.
definitely over 50% female, yes.
That's super cool. I love to see it, especially after so long. Like, yeah, I can go on a tangent, but I'm not gonna. And I continue to work with the Chief Science Officer program. They kindly sent me to Connecticut, where I got to speak in front of thousands of professionals about the CSO program, and we're just trying to help it spread to be global, which it now is, which is really, really, really awesome, because it was just Arizona and maybe like a handful of cities 5 years ago, and now the expansion is mind-blowing to me. And I just continue to help wherever I can. You can find me at summer institutes. You can find me at cabinet meetings in Arizona. And I just really wanted to leave you guys with, hey, life's a journey. And there's no right way to live it. You don't have to, if you're interested in STEM right now, like I was interested in STEM all the way in high school. I'm still interested in STEM, by the way, but I'm no longer an engineering major now. Now I play roller derby and I paint. I'm back to my early passions, and I'm honestly just living my best life. And I think it's because I was able to do all these great grand things in high school and like middle school. And at a young age, you're able to make such a big difference. And that's really fulfilling. And then now you can be an adult and keep making a difference and just kind of be yourself when there's just a sea of sometimes confusion, stress. But in the end, hey, we all come out, and I know you guys will too, especially like with things that are happening. There's still great stuff happening. You guys are doing great. And I love seeing all the things that you do. Even these Zoom In on Science calls. I was on the one with, I believe his name was Mark, with the pop-up books. And that was so cool. So please keep getting more people, more STEM professionals, just more anybody, just so you can hear their stories. And I think it'll help you all greatly. Thank you.
Thank you very much for telling us about your work and what you've done before. It is evident that you're truly passionate about the CSO program, and thank you for joining us as an alumni. While we're learning about what you do, participants have left questions in the chat, but so we'd like to know who was your mentor as a child?
Fantastic question. Honestly, didn't really think about that. I know that there was this one girl that I looked up to when I was a freshman in high school, it was only her and I. We were the only two females in robotics. And she was older, more experienced. She was the one that taught me that, hey, girls can be leaders. And it doesn't matter if there's only one girl in a group of like 10 other guys, you have your own voice and you stand out and take charge. Your gender doesn't matter. You're still like a capable, successful, smart human being. And I think that her words of wisdom have now been my words of wisdom to others.
So what advice would you give to your 14-year-old self?
The advice that I would give to my 14-year-old self, I'm 21 now, so back when 7 years ago when I was 14, I would tell myself, hey, you know the things that you like doing, don't be embarrassed to like the stuff that you're doing. I feel like most of the times especially when you're in high school or when you're younger, there's this peer pressure looming like over everybody, like, hey, you need to like this certain thing because most of your peers like a certain thing. But no, what if I want to paint? What if I want to watch cartoons? And what if I want to dress up and go to like conventions? I think that, yeah, I wish I did that more. I wish I did more of the things that I was into personally without worrying about what other people thought of me. Yeah. Just be yourself.
So our first question is from CSO Shaker, and she's asking, what was your favorite part of the CSO program?
I'd say my favorite parts are more recently as an alumni than when I was a CSO. I could give a cool favorite part for when I was a CSO. I'd say it was going to DC because it was the first time that the groups of kids came and we sat in a very important room where very important decisions happen. And as a student, it felt empowering that people were willing to listen to us. The whole room was full. It was a giant like oval table. The whole room was full. It happened again when we went 2 years later and adults wanted to listen. That was my favorite moment. And my favorite moment now as an alumni would have to be seeing you guys. I love the passion that's on your faces whenever you guys talk about the things that you love. I love it when you guys are in charge and running events and just the expression that other adults give CSOs when they're talking. It's priceless. I wish I could copy it and like if we had something where it was like all the facial expressions of the adults that our kids talk to and everyone's just like in admiration and just shock. I wish we could have a compilation of the faces of the people you guys talk to because you guys are making a difference and it's visible on other people, like you're changing their minds, and that's really cool to see.
So what advice would you give to others about exploring college majors?
Oh, and thank you, Kelly. The Office of Science and Technology is a really cool room that I was talking about in like the Eisenhower building in DC. Thank you. And the advice that I would give to others about exploring college majors, I'd say definitely take a tour. It doesn't hurt. And I would say that if you find a place that you want to go to, attend the opening, like the first week of school events that they have, because that's where you will find out everything that is on that campus. Or I know that in Arizona, we have what is called the Night of the Open Door. It's a cool little event that like my university puts on so you can see everything that they offer. Then I can't stress this enough. I feel like people stress about knowing what they want to do when they grow up and when they get into college. They're like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be an engineer. I'm going to be a doctor, which is totally fine and dandy, but that's not the case for everybody. It is okay to change your major. It is okay to start off as something that is maybe highly focused like engineering and health, but then you could move into something later on that you're genuinely interested and you wanted to follow, yes. Please don't feel pressure to stick with the first major that you choose, unless you really want to, but it's your life. If you want to do something else, if you want to do psychology or communication, do it.
Thank you. That was amazing. So our next question is from CSO Raj from Kenya. In the past leadership training institute, who was your best colleague who helped you during your hard times over there? Please share your CSO memories with us.
Like as a CSO or as an alumni?
As a CSO, I hope so. Yeah, Raj.
As a CSO.
These are really good questions. Y'all got me thinking, which I'm very impressed by. I think a lot in general, but thinking about things that happened in the past, I don't normally think about. So thank you for these questions. My answer would be my advisor and my best friend in high school that was also in the engineering program. I highly recommend having someone that you trust on like your team that you work with to do CSO things, because when there are those hard times, especially when people don't listen to you, whether it's because of the way you look or because of the fact that you're a teenager, that there's gonna be people that don't listen. And that was one of the hardest times that I had, because we were trying to run the event in the picture that I showed earlier with a bunch of people all over the gymnasium. Students weren't listening, and it's easy to let your emotions show on your face, show on your voice, sort of manifest physically. And when you have someone that you trust, like your advisor or a really smart best friend, they can just be like, hey, it's okay, it's fine. Like, these people, they're like trying to figure out a correct way to phrase this, but not everyone is going to agree with the things that you're saying. There's always going to be someone that's going to want to cause trouble, or someone that's going to disagree with you as an individual. And like having people to remind you that, like, hey, it's all right. This is like 5 minutes out of the rest of your life. This turned into advice, but that's good advice in my opinion. That it's just a tiny fragment of your life, and it's gonna be okay. And they reminded me of that.
I think that's great advice, Dom, right? So to the CSOs on the call, knowing that you're going to run into people that are not going to agree with you, and they're not going to be willing to help you. They're not going to do the work for you. They're probably even going to tell you no, or you can't do it. So Dom, you've watched that change a little bit. And as you mentioned, watching the adults now see the students and support them. I think that's definitely something that we're really trying to, as a whole group, right? CSOs in Kenya and Kuwait and Arizona and Michigan and all over now are starting to really understand that these students are powerful in what they have to say. And we want to build your confidence so that you're willing to stand up to those people who disagree or tell you no or get in your way, that you have a whole CSO network behind you.
I agree, Kelly. Thank you.
And it kind of leads into Dom being alumni too, because now Dom's one of your biggest supporters. So know that that's why she's still in the loop. She's been there, she's done that. I haven't, but Dom did from the very beginning. So now all of you can ask her for support, because she knows exactly what you're talking about when you run into challenges with your action plans, or you run into peers who don't really get it or don't want to be supportive or they make fun of you because you're wearing glasses, or all those things that Dom knows. She's recently been a CSO. Vivikraj wrote, "Give me blank or give me death." Give me confidence.
Ooh, that's a good one. Or science, because it rules everything, in my opinion.
What would you say, Vivikraj? You asked her to complete it. She said, "Give me science or give me death." What would you say?
I would say give me good education or give me that.
Ah, all
That's much
right.
better.
Why don't you call on somebody else? Let's get everybody to fill in the blanks. And then Malhar, then you'll be able to close the call shortly if there's no more questions.
Let me pick CSO Max.
Give me music or give me death.
Oh, I like that one too. All right, Max, pick somebody.
CSO Bernice.
I don't know. Give me food or give me that because I love food.
Let's go with CSO Dorar. What would you say?
Give me math or give me that.
Ooh, math. Okay. Let's go with Priyanshi.
I think give me a great life or give me that.
What about Josh?
Say, give me a voice in the community or give me death.
Krishna?
I'd say give me confidence or give me that.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, Fatima is still connecting back to audio. What would you say?
Give me Harry Potter or give me that.
Oh, I did miss Sheikha. Okay.
Hey, give me STEM or give me that.
Nice. Right. I think I got everybody except for Malhar. What would you say?
I'd say an openness, like give me an open world. Like I don't want to be like some people hide stuff. So yeah.
I like it. All right, go ahead and you can do the final part of the script and close us out. Great job.
Thank you very much for participation today. Before we close this call, we'll have one final question. What advice will you give to us as young leaders for the future?
Advice for the future. I'd say follow your passions, because they're the things that even when you're having a hard time, your passion is going to be something that's going to creep up your little brain and be like, hey, what about me? Don't forget about me. So follow your passions, and then whatever happens is going to happen, and hopefully it's positive.
For joining us today, CSO Don. You are an inspiration to many of us, and we hope that you can participate in another call someday as we continue to zoom in on science. CSOs, to close the call, please join me in saying our motto. Don't just hope it happens.
Make
Make
it.
it happen.
Thank you so much, Dom. It's been a pleasure to have you.